and welcome to Therabites, where we bring you bite-sized episodes, each one a piece of the puzzle that helps to explain the therapy world, the research behind it all, and how it relates to families. My name is Dr. Dana Poole, physiotherapist and clinical lead at the Healthy Strides Foundation. It is my privilege to be hosting this podcast, one that is directed for families of children with neurodisabilities. We hope to be able to answer some of your questions through this format. To help us navigate our way through these big questions, we have the lovely, the one and only Kate co-hosting this podcast. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you so much, Dana. It's so great to be here again.
I agree. I love these times when we just get to have a chat.
It's so good.
Right?
Yeah.
The fact that we just get to do it and just to chat and record.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Cool. Well, it's also the time where I get to give everyone my random piece of information because I feel like that's a great contribution to the world. Well,
absolutely.
I don't know, is it really? But
yeah, I've said it before. I stand by it. I really enjoy it.
Okay, so this one I already used in my conversation today. This is how I remember these things, right? And the catchy headline for this piece of research was like, can you Sudoku your way to being slim? And what the researchers were trying to highlight was that actually our brains burn about 500 calories a day.
Wow.
And it sounds like a lot because it's like a fifth of your total energy requirements. So, you know, what my take home from this is when I do some really good thinking, I can burn more calories even though I'm sitting down.
So you could have an extra block of chocolate that day.
One would think so, right? But unfortunately, it does also mean that, you do need to exercise. They were very clear about that in the research. So that aside, my other real take home from this is if you're really, really tired from thinking, it's probably real.
Yeah.
Because you know how you say that? Like you've been thinking so much and you're really tired.
Exhaustion.
Yeah, that's right. And then my other thing then, so when my brain went from that was actually when our kids are learning new skills and then, you know, if they're learning a new skill, they can't often do a task. They can't talk whilst doing something at the same time because it's a new skill. Yeah. So we have to be really thoughtful about that because, yes, they'll probably be more hungry. Yeah. Because they're probably using a lot of energy. They're thinking a whole lot more. It's a real thing. So... yeah. Yes. Right? Because often when you have kids who go through growth spurts, it's not just about their height and weight that take off. It's when they're doing new skills, they're usually really hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's a good reminder that we can make sure that we are adequately nourished as we're learning new skills.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And for me, it's usually a block of chocolate while I'm thinking about something. So
I love that.
So, yeah, I'm sure that greatly enhanced everyone's life, but my take home from that is still a strong one, and I stand by it.
Absolutely. I'm all for it.
Thank you. Thanks, Kate. Thank you.
I'm on board for sure.
Let's get to the meaty stuff because you always have good questions. Tell me, what are we talking about today?
All right. So, Dana, very topical. I don't know about you, but the 2024 Paralympics and Olympics have got me captivated.
Right. I love it.
Oh, my gosh, it's the best.
Yes. It's the fact that it's set in the beautiful place like Paris, even though it's not very accessible. We can talk about that later.
Yes.
But to see the kind of breadth of sports that are available, it's amazing.
It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I love it. Absolutely inspiring.
It's very inspiring. A little bit late for me. I was feeling very inspired, but I think I've left my run too late, but not too late for all of our children that it is inspiring. I'm very interested. What is your favourite Olympic, Paralympic sport to watch?
Okay, I love watching the tandem running because usually someone's visually impaired and so they are sort of strapped to another person who matches, like they're not allowed to lead them, but they have to keep up with them. And to see that coordination and that partnership, I think speaks volumes about what our society should even look like. Yeah. It is incredible.
And the trust you have to have there. That trust. Yeah. Yes. It is really incredible.
Amazing. Yeah. And it's, I love that. But then the other day I was watching sitting volleyball. Yep. And they were sitting on the floor playing volleyball. That's cool. Amazing.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't see that.
Yeah. I didn't even know that existed. It was amazing. So, like, it just shows everyone can have a go.
Oh, my eyes have been open to the amount of sports that are accessible to our children now. I had no idea, and it's got me really excited. I'm like, where do we start? What do we get into first? It's very exciting.
Yes, I can see where this question's going then.
Yes. So I guess I am very interested, Dana, to know, this is where your thoughts come in handy. Yep. What I guess, what do you know about adapted sports? That's a pretty broad question, isn't it?
Yes.
Or what
That's
advice?
a good place to start.
Yeah, like what do you know about it? And then I guess what sort of advice do you have for families like ours that are feeling really inspired at the moment? The kids are feeling really inspired at the moment. They've seen other people like them doing these amazing things.
Yes.
How do we get them started? What do we need to know?
I love that. Okay, so my brain goes into two different places. There's one that's really formal and there's a place that's really informal.
Okay.
So I'll start with the informal. Informal's nice and easy in that it's something that you can do yourself as a family. The first point is to kind of go, what is the interest? Sometimes interest is what lies within the family. So if your family's really into footy. Basketball. Oh, yes, true. Actually, that's true. I can't believe I said footy in light of you, seeing that I see your family turn up in basketball gear a lot.
Yes.
So if you're really into basketball, for example, you're always talking about it. You're probably wanting to play it to varying levels of success, depending. Your friends are probably all really into it as well. And that's a really good place to start, is to kind of go, okay, what can we do amongst this? And you'll be surprised how creative you can be in terms of promoting inclusion. So the first part is, I think, is for a family to be really engaged in a particular sport and start to explore that with each other. So whether you're wanting to explore, say, basketball in a walking frame or in a wheelchair or in a standing frame because you want to see if you can get off good shots, like which part of the sport is the part that most appeals to your child?
Okay.
If your child's really interested in bouncing the ball because it's got great feedback, they love doing it, fantastic. Let's start there. So you're really building on a strength that the child can do really well. And having that informal way of exploring that sport tells you so many things. It tells you what interest level, what kind of possible adaptations that you might need, whether they're responding more to sound or the vision, the instruction, all that kind of thing there gives you a fair bit of information to then go down the path of a formalised exploration.
Okay.
Because when you go down a formalised exploration, you're now actually trying the sport for real. Okay. But now you come with it with all this information about what possible adaptations you might need.
Yep. What the strengths are.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
our little man's
really
a thrower.
Way. He's 100%. He's a thrower.
So we know our strength.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So now I guess that's a good starting point for us is then what adaptations would we need for him?
That's right.
And then can we trial those at home or in a physio setting and then take that to a more formalised,
that's right.
then start looking into.
Yeah, that's right. Because sometimes the barrier is often going, where do I go to explore it? And because there are so many sports, like you said, it can take you a while to find out what that is. Yeah. Because all you're doing at that point is trying to find maybe an aspect of adaptation that works for your child, which you can get lucky and find that, but you're better off finding something that you've got an interest in first. Yeah. And then once you do that, you're just more inclined somehow to see all the possible adaptations you can make. Yeah, so it's kind of going the other way around rather than going, what adaptations are best for my child. And
which is that was absolutely what I was thinking when I'm watching all these sports. I'm like, which one would suit our little dude best? But you're absolutely right. I think having that interest in it is probably the key, right? Yes. We want them to enjoy it. We want them to understand it. Yes, and if they're watching it all the time, and then they're going to have that better understanding.
Absolutely, because then you understand the rules of the game, and then therefore also it's just your curiosity and problem solving that will probably be it's the strongest ever. It's a family's ability to kind of go, actually, how about we use this kind of ball to start off with? So say for basketball, I'm just thinking if you've got one really strong arm and your other arm's not as strong, so throwing might be really tricky for a big size basketball. Or to start off where you do something quite small and you can gradually increase the size of the basketball. So that's just a really simple explanation. Yeah. The next part might be, okay, let's look at the rules. And, it might be standing at a line, like just coming up to a line, then throwing. And then you've got 2 cones and you go, okay, we want to bounce the ball 2 times, then you throw. And it's teaching the rules of the game. And then through that process, you start to figure out whether this is something that you want to pursue.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. And it's a fun way to do it. Too. Yeah. So the formalised ways, though, we're so lucky now that particularly when the Paralympics are on, you see more and more people out and about wanting to look at sport.
Yeah.
And there's some great avenues to look at formalised sport.
Okay,
so
great.
the one so people who live in Western Australia, let me talk about a few. So there's Rebound WA.
Okay.
They're an organisation that have lots of great try days. You can come and have a go at different sports. And they've got access to all different kinds of sports as well. So you can just come in and give it a go. So that's more formalised, but you might already have an idea that you kind of go, let's try this. And, then there's WADSA, so West Australian Disabled Sports Association.
Okay.
Fellas in danger there. And they also have these recreational sport opportunities. They've got a whole calendar online that you can have a look at. There's this other one called, WA All Abilities Football. This is AFL football.
Yeah, I have seen these guys.
Them? Yeah, and they're
awesome.
Very, very interactive and really inclusive. So there's really formalised ways down that path. And then if you really want to look broadly, Disability Sports Australia has an amazing website if you look them up, and it's just sports.org.au. And they've got the whole listing of all different kinds of adapted sports, and you can press on the link and you can see all the different places and the website and the link in your state.
Okay, cool.
So it gives you a point of contact.
Yeah, that's really good.
But at the end of the day now, anyone can be involved in anything.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is so cool.
It's incredible. I guess I can't help but ask the next question, but once you have found that sport and you really enjoy that sport, can you tie that into your goals in therapy block?
Yes, big time. Yes. Yeah, because let's talk about the role of therapy. And, I'm always very passionate about this. We're therapists, we're important, but we're also we need to see ourselves as the people that build bridges between where someone is at and where they want to be. And sometimes to be part of an adapted sport, therapy might be along the lines of following rules and what are the rules and how do you follow two-step instructions. It might be around communication, right? It can be something really clear. But then you can get to the more nitty-gritty. It could be very skills-based, a gross motor skill, bouncing a ball, kicking a ball.
Yeah.
How do we break down that task? Therapists are so good at breaking that down to helping that child to achieve it. Or it might be how they throw a ball, how they position themselves. So that is such a great way to use therapists to then allow you to go and do the sport. Because really, once you go and do the sport, you're physically active, you're a sense of community, you're actually doing everything that we'd want you to do. Yeah. And therefore, you don't need as much therapy over time for that too.
Yeah.
So
you're up and moving.
Yeah, it's a really, really good way of doing it. And you can start that early.
Yeah, yeah. I know that the ones that we've been looking into, the few things we're saying sort of 5 and up, which is awesome. I think that's incredible. It's sort of right after, Just
under 5 is so hard.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's for any child. Any child at all. Yeah. I could not imagine my 3-year-old following anyone's instructions out there on a football field.
Can you imagine being a coach?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, they're like teachers, right? They just, deserve so much more.
Amazing people.
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the earlier you think about it, the better as well, because then they sort of grow up in that environment. You're not coming into it heaps later when everyone's already had the experience of being in a group and all that kind of thing. So there's great advantages to starting early. But in saying that, if you want to try different things, there's no age limit on things either. Just give it a go. It's amazing what you get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Oh, thank you so much.
Very welcome. So you're going to enroll them in something?
Yeah, I've just got to decide what now.
Yeah.
I know what I would like, but maybe we'll just test out some of that basketball stuff first, make sure. I think it is going to be our first, definitely, trial.
I think, it's a good place to start, isn't it? It's not to say, you're not going to always follow what your parents are going to follow, but it's just a good place to start because of common interest. But who knows where it might take you.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to seeing them at the next Paralympic Games.
Might have a Paralympian in my house now.
I love it. I know, I love it. Yes. That's a really cool question. Very topical. Thanks for that, Kate.
No worries. Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks for your great advice.
Oh, anytime. Love a good chat. All right, to everyone, hope you enjoyed that. But stay tuned. We've got plenty more to come. Talk to you all really soon. Bye.
Thank you.